Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616. Over the last week, Hulu has made a couple of big announcements for Season 3 of Runaways, including the premiere date, casting reveals, and the first plot details. So today I'd like to go over everything we know about the third season of Runaways. As usual, this will be in three parts: who, the creators and cast, what, the story and rumors we've heard, and when, which is when it's coming out and when we'll get the first trailer. Here are the time codes for each section. So let's get started. Pretty much everyone will be returning. We have showrunner Stephanie Savage and Josh Schwartz. Vanessa Parise is the only director set so far for episode 6. Warren Leonard and Ashley Wigfield are set as the writers for episodes 2 and 6, respectively. As for the cast, we have all of the Runaways themselves, including actors Renzi Feliz, Lyrica Okano, Greg Sulkin, Virginia Gardner, Ariella Barra, and Allegra Acosta. It's also worth noting that Old Lace is set to return as well. Currently, Carolina and Chase are being held captive by the Gaborum, and of course, most of the still living Pride members are set to return. We have Annie Wersching's Leslie Dean, who was last seen pregnant and living in the hostel with the kids. We have the Wilders, who are currently in police custody. The Steins, Janet is also a prisoner of the Gaborum, and Victor is currently the host for Jonah. Then there's the Yorks. Dale is currently on the run with Gert and Old Lace, and Stacy has been possessed by Jonah's wife. And finally, the Minorus. Tina has been possessed by Jonah's daughter. The only parent not returning is Kip Pardue's Frank Dean, who has been fired from the show due to recent allegations that were found to be accurate. We also have a newer face from Season 2, returning with Clarissa Thibault as Zavin, the shape-shifting alien who claims to be Carolina's betrothed. So far, we only have one new character being introduced this season, and that is the famed evil sorceress and longtime Avengers villain, Morgan le Fay, who will be portrayed by Elizabeth Hurley. She hails from Arthurian legend, but more relevantly, Marvel Comics. I'll get more into it in the next part, but Morgan is described as an evil ruler of an alternate dimension. She'll definitely be the villain of the season, and I imagine she'll have something to do with Nico's dark transformation at Season 2's end. It's going to be really fun to see her here, as she'll be the first villain the Runaways face that isn't directly tied to the Pride, which will be a breath of fresh air. But just the other day, we received the very exciting news that the season will have two guest stars, none other than Aubrey Joseph and Olivia Holt, reprising their roles as Cloak and Dagger respectively from the Freeform series. Fans have long been begging for a Cloak and Dagger Runaways crossover, so it's great to finally see it happening, even if it is for just one episode. And I think I have some ideas about how this will tie into the season's story. The newly released official synopsis for Runaway Season 3 is as follows, and be warned that it could be considered spoilery for some. In an action-packed Season 3, the Runaways frantically search for their captured friends, Chase Stein, Gert Yorks, and Carolina Dean. The kids go head-to-head with an unstoppable enemy who has targeted Leslie, or more accurately, the child she's carrying. Nico Minoru draws them all into a dark realm where its ruler, Morgan le Fay, is much more nefarious than anyone the kids have yet to face. This is a very interesting description that raises a lot of questions. First of all, it seems clear to me that the season will be divided up into pods, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sometimes does, with different sections of the same story. The first few episodes are the rescue of the captured teammates. The middle is the mystery assassin hunting down Leslie, and the back half is all about Morgan le Fay. Of course, these will all build into each other, but it's an interesting approach that I think could work pretty well here. So the first question is, who is trying to kill Leslie Dean's child and why? This seems like it has something to do with the Gaborum. The child is part Gaborum. I'd imagine this is an alien threat. It could be Jonah or another character entirely, perhaps General Vedran or another Magistanian figure from the comics. The most likely answer, though, is that it is a new Gaborim character made up for the show, like Jonah is. A more out-of-left-field option is that it could be Mordred, an ally of Morgan le Fay's, but I don't know why she would be targeting Leslie's baby. Speaking of which, what is the dark dimension that Morgan le Fay rules? Well, in the comics, she has served as the Witch Queen of the Weird World. Weird alternate dimension. However, I very much doubt this is the Weird World, as it's a bit much for this show. The most likely answer, in my opinion, is that it's a realm we've seen a couple of times before, the Dark Force dimension. We first glimpsed Dark Force in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Blackout. Then, in Agent Carter Season 2, we witnessed Whitney Frost trying to harness the Zero Matter. And since then, it has become a central part of Cloak and Dagger, and the source of Tyrone's powers. So it would absolutely explain why Tandy and Tyrone are here. It could also explain this teaser. It shows the Runaways all seemingly beaten to a pulp, with only Chase left standing, forced to watch Gert being sacrificed by the Pride. It's pretty chilling, but it doesn't quite add up. The most likely answer here is that this is inside the Dark Force dimension. In Cloak and Dagger, we see that Tyrone is able to glimpse people's despairs through the Dark Force. So I think what we're likely seeing here is Chase living his own worst nightmare in the Dark Force dimension. I very much expect this to be the case. It'll really add an interesting layer to not just this show, but Cloak and Dagger as well, assuming Freeform ever picks it up for Season 3, that is. Runaways Season 3 is officially set to premiere on Friday, December 13th, 2019, on the dot. All 10 episodes of the season will premiere on the same day, so you can binge watch to your heart's content. While we have a short teaser now, I imagine we won't get our first real trailer until the New York Comic Con this fall, which will run from October 3rd to October 6th. They'll almost definitely hold a panel there where they'll discuss the season ahead and release the official trailer and poster. I'm personally hoping Marvel and Hulu will hold a big joint panel for all of their shows this fall: Runaways, Offenders, and Spirits of Vengeance. I'm pretty desperate for some updates on Ghost Rider and Hellstrom, but that's very unlikely. At the very least, we will definitely be getting a Runaways panel. But that's everything we know about Runaways Season 3 so far. I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Do you think Morgan le Fay is ruling the Dark Force dimension? Any guesses as to who the mystery assassin could be? And what kind of Marvel TV crossovers would you like to see in the future? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.